a grandmother.
Women in leadership, business, and lifestyle.
I know I do. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. My goodness, I'm so glad that you're here. And good day, everybody. Welcome to another segment of Lifin Talk. I'm so excited to have a special guest and collaborator on with me today. And Eli, for those that are watching, just introduce yourself, my goodness, and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
My name is Eli. My creative name is Buddhafleye, and I creatively do performance poetry with the healing emphasis. It's my heart song. My professional background is I am a military veteran by way of the U.S. Navy, and I found my way into finance and banking from there. My heart song since I was 11 years old, though, has been poetry. And that is why I'm here to talk poetry, creative arts, creative healing, and on my way to just make new friends, new acquaintances, and new relationships, even through this.
I love it. Well, so today I thought we just come on, since Eli is such a so talented in so many ways, and I want to talk about poetry as a path to purpose, because you know what, everybody has a purpose and plan for their life, and sometimes the route that we go through life, sometimes we take detours, and sometimes we realize new talents that we never knew before through our experiences. And so I think as a life coach, what I always kind of say to everybody is lessons that we, have along the way, they're growth opportunities. And sometimes, when you're in it, you don't realize it. But when you come out of it, it's so beautiful. And sometimes, the discovery of hidden talents, it does come out in those challenging times. Wouldn't you say, Eli?
I would absolutely say that.
Yeah.
It is so true. Everything is birthed through transformation, and for that to happen, we have to go through change, which in our life, it typically means some type of difficulty or unexpected situation. And so, yes, I do believe it all happens through transformation.
Yeah. So how did you find in this season of your life, do you think that you're more creative in this season than you ever have been before, because of seasons that you've gone through? Would you say, has that brought it out more?
I would honestly say I am not more creative in this season than I've ever been. I have really been very active on the poetry scene. I would say about 10 years ago or so. It was the hardest that I was on the scene. However, in respect to understanding my purpose and what I want to do with poetry, where I stand out, it's stronger and more an exact vision now because of years of life and just working on myself. And as you mentioned, going through things, and it just helps you, if you're paying attention, it helps you be more self-aware. And so now I never say I'm a poet. I always say I'm a healing poet, no matter who I'm speaking to, because I understand my purpose more than I ever have before.
Wow. So when you say healing poet, what exactly does that mean to you? And how do you relate? So when you are going out and you're sharing maybe with a group, what do you find that what you're sharing in your poetry, how do you find people engaged and changed out of maybe a poem that you read and just having that discussion? How do you find people's reactions per se?
I'm almost blushing at the question because I never have to ask those questions. My stage presence, my intention from the moment I wrote the poem, my intention when I stand on stage in front of that mic, my intention when I am engaged with my audience, as well, the words that I then speak from my lips, it all resonates in the room. There's been times where I literally just start crying on stage because the energy is so big. I came prepared, but I wasn't prepared to take on the energy exchange of everybody in the room.
Yes.
And that's why spoken word is so magical to me, performance poetry. It happens naturally all the time. People usually just come and tell me, thank you, or that brought tears to my eyes, or there's something special about you. And the beautiful thing about it is when it comes to poetry and that exchange, at least for me, I feel it myself. It's just confirmation when it comes from other people. But in those moments, that is when I feel like I'm a messenger. I feel like this is my ministry.
Yes.
And I just feed off the energy that's in the room. And I always say I birthed my poetry. And because I birthed my poetry, that's why I have the impact I do on others.
That's beautiful. So to anybody that's watching, and maybe you have some things to say, maybe putting it in a journal would be a start. And so how would you suggest that somebody that maybe wants to explore that creative, path, how do they start? What's the best method, would you say? Because we all have so many powerful experiences within our own life, and then the beautiful people that we share it with. So I think that, getting things out, getting those word out, and putting it in a journal or speaking with somebody that's close to you, or maybe, a mentor. If you have so many things bottled up, it's great to get out. Would you say, Eli?
It's absolutely great. I would definitely.
We have to.
Yes. So to answer your question, I would say for sure if you're in Duval County and you have that unction to just be more creative or to write, there's so many beautiful and intimate venues, bookstores and different things where we have poetry workshops, open mics. There's lots of ways to engage, but I do agree with you where it's not always about the performance art. That may be too much. Just be in the atmosphere. That's what I have done since I was so young. I go nowhere without a pen and paper.
That's beautiful.
Cell phones have kind of taken over, but I'll text a thought to myself if it comes to me and I want to revisit that later and see what I can do with it. So I would say journaling, but it's just like if you were lonely or if you were sad, therapists would say you need to socialize. I think the arts can do that. And sometimes as a performance poet, I want to go and be fed. I don't always want to go and give. And so I go to open mics where they're instruments only.
Wow.
And you just engage with the energy, the vibrations of the music, and that hand will move. Even if it's just for you, like you said, even if it's just for your journal. But it's changed my life and saved my life in so many ways. Poetry and writing.
So you would say, that poetry has also made you more keenly aware, as you said before, but even, kind of higher awareness, maybe at this point versus, because we grow and we get more mature. And does it mean anything different as opposed to maybe a few years ago? Because it's real and it lives in you and it pours from you out and connects to people and it touches people's heart.
It does.
And it just moves. It moves. It has, kind of a mind of its own, and it's something, like you said, that you can't explain. And I know for me personally, I look at poetry when I read it in such a different light now, and I think that it's more profound in what I read that's on the page, that it came from, a poet or the author. And the words kind of come to life so much more now. And I think that is a beautiful awareness that we have and such a gift to share with others. And I think that also encompasses finding yourself.
I'm smiling because what you're saying, it's true to me the same way it's true to me regarding relationships. Even after really hard things like divorce or a really long disconnect with someone, when you're doing your self-healing, you're having no choice but to learn openness, forgiveness, to look at yourself. At the root of everything, it's love is always still there.
Yes.
And that's the same thing with poetry. So I feel like if you need love, if you need healing, you need a place to just dump safely where you're not spreading negativity. Right. Poetry is safe for all of those things. You need hope. You need inspiration. You need to hear a good love story. It's all there. And I just am so connected to that. I feel like over years, poetry went from, I knew since I was 11 years old, poetry was my safe place. I used to call poetry my best friend. Then in my early 20s, I was in the Navy. I was on an aircraft carrier.
Wow.
About 800 women to about 4,500 men. And I would just be in the middle of the ocean. Everyone's, working out or on our off time, playing dominoes, playing cards, whatever. I'd be in a corner somewhere just with my book, just getting it out, just getting everything out because I was in my 20s. So I was just deciphering all my feelings and family issues on paper, and it was safe. And I learned and grew so much.
Wow.
And then, like in the later stages of my life, I've been on my own spiritual journey and came to Jacksonville. And then that's when I found the art of spoken word. I'm from New York City, but I never done spoken word until I came to Jacksonville.
Wow.
And I fell in love with performance poetry. Just watching it was so beautiful and empowering.
So is there like a meetup meeting for somebody that may be interested? How do you find, I know you could probably do maybe like a meetup group. Is that the best way? Or like a Facebook group to find in their area? And hopefully we have some viewers that maybe not here where we are locally, but around the country.
Absolutely.
And you know what? If you're doing poetry, you might even start one, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Why not? Bring a group, connect with groups because that's important.
It's so important. As a military veteran, I've been pushing myself to socialize more, and I thought where it's safe for me. What's safe for me is I go to different meets with other women veterans and just different activities we do. I've done paint and sips and things, but otherwise I'll find an open mic. It's so invigorating and it's just healing and it's also fun. But in general, everything's online these days. Yes. So you just look up open mics near me, open mics with poetry. But there are also lots of workshops, small groups, and in Jacksonville and surrounding areas, Orange Park, Camden, Georgia. Like, I know lots of poetry. There's a lot of great poets out here, by the way, in our area. But
and
lots
Eli,
of workshops.
If somebody is interested in maybe connecting with you, where can they find you?
I need to do better with social media. I am going to, because I'm working on rebranding myself. I've been not socializing much.
Yes. Life happens sometimes, and sometimes other priorities need to be addressed before, you spend the time on social media. So most certainly give yourself grace.
I do.
Life happens. And especially when it's not just you, you might have to take care of family and what have you. So I believe that there's a time for everything. And so
I love that you say that. And it's so true.
It is so true.
It's my time to get back on social media too. So I do want to say I have Instagram. I have on Facebook or Instagram a lot of my original poetry pieces and just quotes that I've made. But I'm going to work on being more consistent because, again, I need to rebrand myself. Just remind the people I'm here.
Yes.
And shake things up for myself, get out of my comfort zone.
Yes.
But the best way to reach me would be to know me directly and speak to me via cell phone or email if we're just an associate. My email is Miss Eli, MS_ELI@outlook.com. It's Miss Eli, MS_ELI@outlook.com.
And you said Instagram, you have your handle?
Yes, my Instagram handle is PrettyWingZZZ7. It's PrettyWing_ZZ7.
Love that. Well, and also her contact information will be in the description. So please feel free to reach out to her, look her up, because she's an amazing woman doing amazing things and is so gifted.
Thank you so much.
And just 2 quick questions before we wrap up, Eli. Where would you say your happy place to get inspired, to get that unction that you want to take the time and write something down on paper to create a poem? Where would that be?
For me, it's almost always in front of water and in quiet. That's my preference. I don't write all the time. I write when I need it, yes. So I love making the perfect setting.
Yes, I do too, to get creative.
Yes.
And then the last thing, for anybody watching, just a little nugget of inspiration.
It's funny that you say that. I wanted to offer you a poetic nugget of inspiration.
I would love that. Thank you.
This is the most recent piece that I've written, and it was last week. I needed inspiration, so I had one of my poetic friends come over, and we sat right here in this lounge on that couch, and I blinked, and it was 4.5 hours past. And I wrote 2 poems that day. Well, one that I want to share is right here. Okay, this is my nugget of inspiration. I marvel at how close I am to my tomorrows while still stroking my radiant golden colors through today, which reminds me of how I was telling my fears the other day. You should have never seen me like that. But if it weren't for you, I'm not sure if I would have gotten to this stage where I practice living fearless, proving nothing to you and all to myself on every page. This stage where I stand looking into another being's soul while standing in my past pains, like, wow, I'm so far away from my yesterdays. So much so I can now extend the best parts of myself, and it feels good and it's so safe. I be wiping art on blank canvases I've traded in for smeared mascara. I called on my past hurts and framed her in a desert in which I saved from a sip and paint class and then labeled it the Sahara. I found collateral at home. I didn't go out. I didn't play adult dress up. I didn't hit the swap meet. No one had to trade their with me. I just did enough raw art and self-discovering that I can at last witness my very own wings fluttering. I am no longer hovering over trauma. She is past tense to the more sensible me. I am no longer scarred, smothered, or wondering about recovery. I am art. Art in the sense that I restore, art in the sense that I be transferable joy. I rarely keep score unless it'll make room for more hope or more stages that'll lead to more that I'll turn into yet another. I won the battle of inner self-destruction. I turned everything they lied about or withheld. I gave it truth and authenticity through rhyme and self-recovery. I am the axle. I am the rod. I own all the bars that allow my strength to revolve. I solved 99 of my problems by choosing to evolve in this moment. I am happy. I am intentional. I am whole. I am the height of creative. I am a poem, and I stand tall in the center of my stage on page.
Wow.
I wrote that April 18th.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. I think that we can end it there. Because that was powerful.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, because that is just, so many beautiful things in there.
Thank you very much.
I just wanted to thank you, for taking a few minutes this morning and sharing your passion.
Absolutely.
And your gift.
Thank you for your attention. Yes.
And for those that are going to be watching, because you know what? You could come back to this anytime that you want. And I want to encourage each and every one of you today to subscribe to the channel, because this is what we're here to just bring special people on that can motivate, that can inspire, and that can just share their heart and their story, so that you can get something that maybe you're missing today, that maybe you feel misaligned, and it's time for you to align in your passion and your purpose. Don't be afraid, because you can overcome anything that you set your mind to. So definitely take a step out in whatever direction, but move today. So with that said, I want to thank you for being here. Eli, thank you again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
Thank you for this platform.
Oh, I'm speechless about the poem, but I hope y'all have a wonderful day. And until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.